This is our last meeting before the Youth Mental Health Symposium, just to let everybody know. We are super excited that things are coming together. Robin and our team and Emily and I and Crystal met this morning for an hour already. This is crunch time, as Robin put it. It's when you think everything's organized and then everybody starts asking questions and you're trying to fill in all those gaps and change the student registrations and trying to accommodate everybody. Because again, this event is all about having our youth be there and the folks that want to be there. And so we're trying to accommodate all the different changes and points that people are making right now. So before I start, I do want to just introduce my beautiful new intern, Emily Mason. Emily is joining me for the summer, and she's taking over for V. She has big shoes to fill for sure, but she has jumped in with both feet. I think the schedule of last week probably had her head spinning a little bit, but she's settling in and doing a wonderful job. Emily, do you just want to tell the group a little bit about who you are and what you're doing and maybe some of your aspirations for after your internship?
Sure. So I'm really excited to be here for the summer with Deneen and the team. It's going to be a great experience for me. I am going into my fourth year at St. Thomas this September. I'm doing a double major in criminology and sociology, and my future plan is to become a teacher. So that's always been my dream job. So I'm excited to be going through with that. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I always like to just start the meeting. Sometimes we go into meetings and we get right into business. And one of the things that I put on our agenda today was to share one of your self-care practices. And I know some of that can be fairly private, so you certainly don't have to share any of your private self-care practices. I won't be doing that today either. But just thinking about this event that's coming up and our very, very busy lives and busy work schedule, sometimes even discussing our self-care practices reminds us of how important that is. We get very caught up in our own heads sometimes of what needs to get done, and really it's so important for us to take a minute to breathe. So I'm going to pick on Robin first because I know she has many of them. But Robin, can you share one of your practices with the group?
Absolutely. I do have many. But I think the touchstone for me, particularly the last 10, 12 years, has been yoga. I teach yoga, but I also practice yoga. And, whether it's a quick 20 minutes or if I'm really lucky and get a half an hour in, I get a lot of pleasure from teaching it. But the grounding and the centering, it's gotten me through some really difficult challenges the last few years. So for me, that's a huge part of my self-care. And
Awesome.
I do believe, and I mean, I know Deneen, you're a yogi too, but when I teach yoga, I always say yoga is for everybody and everybody, because I know some people are intimidated thinking that it's only for bendy 20-year-olds and Lululemon, which was why I was motivated to actually do my training, thinking this body's had two babies. It's far from perfect. There's lots of things it doesn't do, but yoga is still a huge part of my life. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Andrew, how about you?
Doing sorry, ask the question again. My settings have been all weird. I'm sorry.
Self-care practices. What type of
Uh,
self-care practices do you put into your day
that's
or your
that's an easy one. Sorry, I was just trying to stuff's popping up all over the place. I play a lot of music, and I like to exercise, so often I can be heard playing the guitar, or perhaps going for a run. So,
Awesome. Thank you. I love it. I thought you were going to say guitar. I think that's perfect. Um, Em, do you want to share?
Sure. So usually, like, it's something small, but I do it every day. It is practicing gratitude. I write down three things I'm grateful for every day, and I also like listening to music that kind of relaxes me and makes me feel a little calmer.
I love it. And I just realized we have two M's on the call. So Emily Chevre, you're up.
That's a good name. I too would be drawn to yoga. I've got a little home practice that I like to do every morning when I wake up. But I also go to a really nice Sunday evening yin class, and so that's something that I look forward to every week. It gets me out of the house for bedtime, so I get to say goodbye to my beautiful kids and kiss them and come home and they're already asleep. So that's a really that's a nice way for me to kind of have some time to myself on the weekend. So
That's like delicious. I love it. Awesome. Thank you. Cindy.
I guess like a lot of folks, I have a lot of different, practices that I do for self-care. But I have to say that my one big touch point is we have, oh, actually, it's my screensaver. I'm going to share some content, I think. How's that? So you can see it. No, maybe you can't see it that way. Never mind. So we have a cabin in the woods and completely unplugged. There is no cell service. There's no access to cell service. I have to physically drive 3 kilometers to get cell service and stand on the edge of a hill. So we tend to go out there, we try to go at least every second weekend. And the kids used to come when we were young too, and they would unplug and they bring their friends. So just that forced unplug from a Friday to a Sunday lets you walk, which is self-care, hang with the dog, self-care, just talk to your kids, at the table over some silly board game. Was great self-care. So unplugging at the cabin for me is my go-to.
It sounds awesome. I agree. Unplugging so important. Thank you. Shannon.
That's great. Actually, we had an unplugged activity at our school this week. Our last Wednesday, where we asked the kids to give up their phone for the day, and we actually had 72 kids do it, which I was really blown away by for the day. My favorite activity is probably just going in the hot tub at the end of a long day for a soak. Usually it's a family thing, and we end up having to play some kind of a game that my 11-year-old kind of makes up on the spot. But other times we actually get to just relax, and that is the best part of the day usually.
I love it. Yes, I love it. My husband's an electrician. He puts in a lot of hot tubs, and I'll just tell a funny story because Emily, was it your daughter that calls him Hot Tub Rob? Hot Tub Rob. I love it. All right, Ainsley.
Yeah, I like to try to get up every morning and take my dog for a walk, and I find it makes a huge difference. If I skip that just before work, I feel a little more sluggish and not as happy going into a work day. So any day I get out and do that always feels a bit better.
Awesome. Thank you. Alyssa.
Good morning. My favorite self-care is actually caring for horses. And that's a little bit more exciting right now because there is an 8-day-old baby filly. So that is a little extra exciting.
Love that. Yes,
Yeah.
and horses are so healing. I've actually done a lot of reading on the groundness and what they can do, especially in trauma informed kind of practices. That's awesome. Thank you, Crystal.
Hi. I was going to say that reading is something I do for self-care, but honestly, that's usually something I do to avoid going to sleep. Like I just want that time. So going to bed on time is probably my biggest form of self-care, is when I can put aside all the things that I want to spend my time on really late at night and just put myself to sleep so I actually get some sleep at night.
I love it. I never have a problem going to sleep, but yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Janello just joined us. Janello and Mark, we're just discussing our self-care practice. So something that you do for yourself, and what does that look like? And it's different for everybody. You don't need to tell us any personal dark secrets, but if you'd like to just share something that you do for yourself. Mark, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I'm just jumping on from another meeting, and sorry I haven't been to a meeting in a while. I'm happy to be here, though. I'm happy that I could catch this meeting. And you can't see me maybe because my camera's being weird, but I will try to fix that in a few minutes. Self-care wise, I will share that I love playing guitar, whether it's jamming with friends or just by myself. It just helps ground me, keeps me calm, and just something I like to do as an interest and hobby. So that's my self-care.
I love it. Thank you. And thank you for being here. Janello?
she sent a message, Janine, saying she's just finishing up another call. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. That shows you that I cannot do chat and meetings at the same time. I'm going to say one thing that I have many different practices for me, but one of my favorite self-care practices is on Saturdays, I typically do my workout and all that stuff. But one of my favorite things to do is to plan a beautiful meal and go get all the ingredients and come home and cook a yummy meal and of course pour a glass of wine with it and just have that own time. And when my husband works every Saturday morning, and so I have some extra time to kind of just putter and all those good things. And I will say when he does come home and get in my way, it's a little bit irritating. So he knows that that's my self-care practice. So just taking that time to create something. And I'm definitely not very creative. I wish I was a musician and all those beautiful things, but I do love to cook. So that's mine. So we are going to get going right away. Thank you so much for sharing. I always love starting meetings that way because it just makes everybody relax. Everybody arrives, and it's just a great way to kind of start off the day. So introductions are done. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. The brochures, they look beautiful. I was able to show Andrew a copy of the brochure the other day. V did a wonderful job putting that together. Robin was the #1 editor. It went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth many, many times. It has gone to the printers. We are also printing out a resource pamphlet for the students as well, with all of the contacts of folks that they can get a hold of in their district if they need support. So that will be all done and picked up on May 8th. I am going to share my screen really quickly and go through the agenda. This agenda is going to be sent to everybody on the steering committee and all the presenters and all the booths by tomorrow after our meetings with them, because we don't want to have a lot of questions coming our way before we go through it. Can everyone see that? Yep. So 9 a.m. we're going to have registration for Graham and Ann and students in ASD North. So we have right now 19 students and 4 chaperones from the ASD North coming, and 13 students from Charlotte County in the South that are coming. So a total of 36 students will be registering early. They are staying overnight at the St. Thomas University residence, and they're going to be enjoying a beautiful breakfast when they arrive, when they register. We're going to have a nutrition break set up for all students when they arrive, because last year we found out very quickly when you put students on for a bus for 2 hours, they're a little bit hungry when they arrive. So then we will be heading to the auditorium where all the students will be going in there. The overflow will be going into the Chandler's room, where we'll have a virtual setup so that some students may not want to be in an auditorium with that many people, which is lovely. And it works out great because it gives us a little bit more room in there. We are going to have a welcoming with Chief Ron Tremblay. Unfortunately, we just found out that legislation is going to be in session, of course. So the minister is not able to attend, but our Deputy Minister, Ryan Donahue, came down this afternoon personally to tell me he would love to take the place. So he's going to be coming and doing a little intro and welcome to the students. I'll be going through the agenda very quickly, and then we're going to have 5 minutes for the Partners for Youth team to speak a little bit about the work that they do. And Cindy and I are going to try and chat about what that looks like. And Cindy, I'll reach out to you probably in the next little bit so we can nail down what that looks like. Then we're going to be having our RBC Future Olympian and Alyssa. They're going to be doing a kind of a warm-up activity just to get the students moving a little bit before they sit again for the keynote. Robin's going to introduce the keynote, and we do have 15 minutes there allotted for pre and post surveys, because we will be doing the surveys like we did last year on paper. It's a really great way to keep their phones away and put away. So we're going to do the paper route again. Lunch is door prizes, and we are working on having somebody do yoga with the students, or their choice is to go outside and get some fresh air. So then we have breakout session #1, and can I move my screen down? Oh, here we go. transition to breakout session number 2. The breakout session is so 1:15 to 2 and then 2:15 to 3. And then at 3, we go back to the big auditorium where we do our thank yous and our door prizes. And then we load buses with the frozen yogurt bars. And I've just also added this here today. We're hopeful to do a little card with a QR code. So the students, when they get on the bus, they can give us some post-survey feedback on what they learned at the survey or at the symposium, but also what they suggest for next year. We did put out a survey last year after the fact, but as you know, when it's not right in front of you and not done right away, it doesn't seem to get done. But we did definitely get some good feedback just from the teachers and chaperones and the students that did give us their feedback. So any questions about the schedule at all? Perfect. So brochure, agendas, chaperones, and communication to schools. Robin, do you want to speak to that? And I'll just stop sharing. Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, certainly. Yes, we have meetings tomorrow, phone calls with the presenters, where I contact them all yesterday and let them know when they were presenting either session 1 and or session 2 and provided them with their numbers. So 2 weeks out, they have their numbers to start preparing any materials or that kind of thing. And tomorrow, when we meet with them and with the booth people in 2 separate calls, we'll be asking for specifics of what they might need in terms of room setup, because they all have different preferences and that kind of thing. And with the booth folks as well, you know, things like tablecloths and extension cords, those kinds of things. Deneen will also go over, you know, the parking pass, and you'll go over the agenda and with everything. After we're done those meetings, I will send them the agenda, but I didn't want to send it out to them before Deneen has gone through it with them. So they will have that for their information. So things are coming along, I think, quite nicely in that regard. As Deneen said at the beginning, we're kind of at the stage where everything is in place, but the last week or two, you know, we start getting emails from chaperones saying these 2 students, you know, can't come after all, or I'm not going to be able to be the chaperone, but I found someone who could. So we expect that. That's just life. These little things happen. It makes life interesting on our end, trying to keep everything, you know, current and up to date. So when we put all these documents in our binder for the day, we have everything straight. But no, I think we're in good shape and we're reasonably calm considering where we were this time last year.
Oh, I'm glad you feel
And-
that way. That's awesome.
Well, and a huge part of that, I think, is thanks to Crystal, who joined the team this year to look after all things transportation, because Deneen and I were trying to juggle that last year in addition to, well, she's far busier than I am, but it was just not a piece that worked to our expertise. We made it work, but it's certainly Crystal's wheelhouse. And so she's been amazing in taking that piece over and alleviating our stress.
Awesome. Thank you, Robin. And I did want to send the invitation out. Our meetings for our booths is tomorrow at 11:30, and the meeting for the presenters is at 9:30. If anybody on this committee would like to attend those meetings and see how they are run, that type of thing, please just feel free to reach out to me and I'll send you the link. Certainly, I know that for planning something like this, it's a lot easier to meet with everybody and answer those questions rather than the emails back and forth. And it really does help us as a team also, you know, get to know some of the folks that we've never met, which is so lovely. So if you are interested, you're certainly more than welcome to attend. So Crystal, over to you for transportation.
Yes, so we have 5 charter buses booked, 1 in each district at the main kind of site. So 1 in Moncton, 1 in St. John, 1 coming from ASD North, and 1 in ASD West. And they have different pickup locations, but the majority of them are starting in one city and bringing all the students down. We have students, like Deneen said, staying overnight from Anglophone South, the majority of which are from Charlotte County, just due to ferries and timelines and all those things, as well as staying from the north because of our schools in Dalhousie and Bathurst. It's a bit of a trek, so they are staying overnight so that they don't have to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning to bus down, which is awful. Then we have many teachers who are actually driving because they had schools with 1 or 2 students, sometimes 3. And we have gotten rentals for them if they need that, or going to support them in other ways if they need that. But so far, we have not had any teachers have students drop out due to transportation or say they absolutely will not be able to attend due to transportation, which is fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I'm excited to say that we have 32 schools that are attending, which is huge when you think of trying to coordinate all of that. So we're very, very happy that we're doing our best. And of course, things are going to happen last minute, but certainly celebrating that we have 32 high schools that will be participating, which is quite exciting.
It's actually 33, Janine. I had given you 30. No, I had given you 32 a week or 2 ago. And then I realized that for some reason, Heartland High was cut off the bottom of one page. So 33 schools, which is incredible.
Awesome. Yeah, it's exciting. So swag bags, all the swag bag materials have arrived. We have some missing pens, which it's driving me insane that I can't find these pens that we ordered for our swag bags. But the good news is we didn't put the year on them, so we can use them next year because we have found we're going to use the Center of Excellence pens that we already have. So I'm assuming that we will probably find them when we're putting everything together because they're all in one spot. And I'm assuming that nobody would want to steal 250 Youth Mental Health Symposium pens, but you never know. So on May 10th, we are getting together as a team to put the swag bags together. Again, if anybody, especially from EECD, is interested in having some fun, it was a super fun day last year. We had a lot of fun with it. Robin and Emily are going to be there at 9 o'clock to set up the room, and it's basically just 250 bags around the room, and we just put everything together and we put all the gifts together for the presenters. So it's kind of a feel-good day where you're not sitting in front of a computer. So if that's the kind of day that you're looking for, please send me a note and I'll send you the invite. Emily, I don't know if you can get the day off from school, but you're more than welcome to join as well. I can ask your principal if we can have you. So feel free to reach out on that. The other piece I wanted to chat with you about was the virtual keynote session. We are offering the keynote session of jack.org virtually, and it's going to be live streamed. I am heading to the WU Center tomorrow with the tech crew from FHS. With that said, it is graduation day, so the tech crew at the WU Center will not be there, which is unfortunate. So we're trying to do this all on our own. If we arrive at the WU Center and Greg Weber, who is in charge of the FHS tech crew, seems to think that it's going to be a nightmare, I may just X that and say it's not going to be a worry. But I do, just because it's so lovely to offer something to the students that can't travel to Fredericton, to give them an opportunity to be part of the day and part of the celebration. That's one of the beauties of the online piece. So we are going to do our best to have that live streamed. And what I would love is for the committee to share the registration link to folks in their districts. I will send out that information with the updated agenda, the parking pass, and all of those things tomorrow to the whole steering committee. Because in the post, teachers, students, anybody really can just reach out to me. They register on a forms link. I get their name in an Excel sheet, and 2 days before the presentation, they'll receive the Teams link, because we do have to keep that Teams link private. We can't have that open-faced just for privacy. And then really, I can't believe it, but it's 10:56 because we just went through a lot. Does anybody have any questions that I did not address today? Cindy.
Sorry, I tried to get on when you were talking about them, but I couldn't get to the mic button anyway quick enough. So just a couple of things. For the swag bags, we have free counseling sessions that on a brochure that we talked about earlier, that about putting that in. So we have 200 of some of those that we can put into this swag bag about the PFY Connect program, because it's free counseling for high school youth. So, and it's 8 sessions per youth. So if they want to access that. Yeah. So I'll make sure that those brochures, if I can't be there May 10th, that was the second thing. I'd love to help out May 10th. If you want me to come help, if I can, I'll make sure you have them by May 9th, or at least have that delivered to you by May 10th. the agenda, the opening agenda, just it's not PFY, it's not Partners for Youth so much as it's the New Brunswick Youth Council. That's
Okay.
there. Yeah, that's all. So I just yeah, it's more than the New Brunswick Youth Council. It'll be, we just happen to hold it for the province. So
Okay, I'm going to change that right away. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. So with the updated agenda, that'll be changed to New Brunswick Youth Council.
yes, it'll still be us supporting the youth, the one person representative there, but just yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you. Robin.
Just anyone on this committee, just to be aware for parking passes that May 15th is also graduation day at UNB. So if you are coming, in the morning and expect to be there all day, or it probably won't be an issue. But if presenters, for example, were planning to just not do the keynote in the morning, but planning to come for the afternoon sessions, I'm not sure what time graduation is. I don't know if it's at 2. So if folks were
10.
there. Oh, it is at 10, so it might be an issue then. Do they have an afternoon session that day as well?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that because V, obviously, it's so crazy that V's been working on this symposium for 2 years, and she again can't come because she's going to her own graduation, which is awesome. But she is going to try and pop in with her parents afterwards. But she said she had to be there for 10.
So usually they run one at 10 and then one at 2. For several days, so I'm not sure about that. But just people are going to have to be patient, and they're just going to have to be aware of that going in, so they're not shocked when they get there and think, "Oh my goodness, why is it so full for parking?"
Yeah. And the other piece for that is that we're going to tell them about the different locations around the WU Center where they can park. There is parking on the back hill, and you don't have to pay for it. I've walked over, 2 or 3 streets just to have a spot to park. But hopefully we'll get everybody in, but just as long as they know up front that they might need some extra time to find a spot, that's for sure. Does anybody know on this call if I'm allowed to tell folks to park at the MBTA building?
You better ask the MBTA that question.
What? I want to ask for forgiveness, Andrew.
I'd ask them first.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. So do you know who the contact would be there should I just reach out to the folks that I know at MBTA?
Yeah, I mean, just reach out to whoever and they'll tell you who to talk to.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So I just want to say thank you so much to this beautiful committee. I could not have done this without you. I know that there's a couple of leads on our team that are trying to do a similar event, and they're doing it all on their own. And I'm shaking my head saying, why do you not ask for help? I have the most beautiful steering committee that I know that some of you may think, I just came to the phone calls, but everybody had a piece here. Everybody added such great discussion and also points for me to think about and our team to think about that maybe I never thought about. So I'm truly thankful. I really think that this is going to be an amazing event. I would like to say that we are going to have a debrief meeting after the event so that I can tell you kind of how the day went, and folks that are there are going to be able to share as well. But I do think it's important for us to take some time to reflect and think about what we can do better. There's always ways to improve. And there's always, the feedback that we will receive from the students. I think it's really important for us to get that feedback as well. And I'll be able to review that with you. There's already discussion about what's going to be happening next year. Certainly, I would love to move this around the province at some point and see how we can do that to help support some of the other districts with the travel pieces and that type of thing. So there's all kinds of different things in the works, but I do want to say thank you from me and from our team for being so open, but also so I guess making this a priority and being here and being present, because that means so much when we're in these types of meetings. I know that I entertained you with all of my little questions at the beginning to get to know everybody, but I do think that makes a difference. And I feel like I know everyone a little bit better around the questions that we asked during the meeting. So Without further ado, it's 11:02. Ha! I'm a poet. Again, if anybody wants to stay on the call, I'll stay on for a couple minutes. I am doing a PL session at 11:30 with some educators and some students around the gap year. But you're more than welcome to stay on. I will send the recording out as well to everybody that did not make it. And again, thank you so much. Go out and enjoy your day and enjoy the sunshine. And I appreciate you. So
I'm so sorry.
that's
I
okay.
thought it was at
Lisa.
11. I
That's all
have
right.
11 in my agenda. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'll
No
watch the
worries.
recording.
That's right. No worries at all. Honestly, it doesn't matter. I'm heading out. I'm doing a professional learning session. I have to be there for 11:15 or I'd stay on. But no, don't worry about it. Things are coming together great.
Wonderful. Okay. Back from vacation, not on the
The
game.
only thing that we're struggling with is the Charlotte County needs a
I was talking to
chaperone.
Crystal.
Okay,
I was
awesome.
talking to her. And we're working. It's either be me or one of the other staff, so we're good.
Perfect. All right.
All
You have a
right.
good day.
Thanks, Deneen. You too.
Yeah. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Em, are you still there?
Sorry, I just had a phone call come in I had to take.
No, don't worry about it.